All right, welcome back to another episode of Two Types of People. I'm your host, Pat Sickens, and today I have a very special guest. I have Lorena Segura on, and I don't know how to even begin to describe today's guest. She has hit the big screen and small screen, and she's on today to continue highlighting our Chapter 1 contributor in the book, Alex Boylan. So, Lorena, thank you so much for coming on today.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm also nervous, but I'm excited.
No, nothing to be nervous about. Like I said, it's going to be nice and painless, and you are the foremost expert in you, so I'm sure we're going to get a ton of value. So
you see how much I remember. My mind fails me. I'm like, I think that's what I'm nervous about. I'm like, do I remember me or who I am and what I did? You know what I mean?
I was just talking to Chris Luca about that earlier this week, and so his episode will be coming out right after yours, actually. And he was talking about, 25 years after Amazing Race, after season 2, winning it, and how quickly you forget.
Yeah.
What has happened, especially with him, winning and going on the shows and really being one of the biggest reality celebrities in the world back then, because it was Survivor and Amazing Race. And so, now we're talking about our kids are in the same class together, and it's like you just forget what has happened. It seems like a short amount of time, but maybe not that short.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday, but yet I'm like, I don't remember that. Do I?
Well, I actually want to start, instead of just, you giving your story, which we're certainly going to get to, but I like asking a few of these questions just to get a sense of who the guest is. And so I want to actually start, and I know you don't have it with you, so if you're just listening along, you're not going to miss anything visually, but Lorena, I like to ask, if there was a Two Types of People Hall of Fame and we inducted you into it, what relic, what one item would you bring to place in the Hall of Fame that is uniquely yours, that only you could bring?
So I said the football that was signed by Bill Belichick, because, well, it's really cool, and there's a great story behind that. I do have a picture, actually, that I can send you. I don't know if that'll work, but I have it back home in Puerto Rico. And so my husband worked with Kobe Bryant when he had his studio, when he was doing his show that they were doing, and it was only 4 or 5 of them, and he went to he visited the Patriots, and he visited over with Bill Belichick, and he called over and he's like, are there any, fans of the Patriots? Or my husband was like, my wife went to Boston College. And I was like, I don't know that I'm really a Patriots fan. And he's like, whatever, just yes, my wife. And so all of a sudden I have this ball, which is To Lorena by Bill Belichick, and it was thrown to my husband by Kobe Bryant, like, hey, Lowe's, here you go for your wife. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm definitely a Patriots fan.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I really cherish it. However, I like it because of the story behind it, and because Kobe was really important to my husband while they worked together, and that whole story. And so I think that right now that's my biggest thing that I would take with me.
That is a fantastic story. And we were talking about it before we jumped on with my production team of, it used to be the 6 degrees of separation. I'm like, man, that was pre-internet. That was like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon back when he was footloose in it.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yes.
Now it's 1 degree. I mean, I just feel like there's so many connections. And as we continue to dig deeper into this project, you're talking about going to Boston College. Well, Chris and Alex, both from Boston. The Patriots. I have Larry Linney in my book, who played for the Patriots. He was my mentor. I wrote my first book with him. So it's just all these fun tie-ins where you see that 1 degree of separation just continue to come into play. Oh my God,
yes, I love that. Yeah, I didn't even think about it when you asked me about what I would take. I didn't even think that, that Alex is from Boston. I was like, know that, but I didn't even think about it. That's awesome.
It is.
I love that.
Well, let's stay on this for just a second, because the tie here, besides everything that we've just talked about, and Alex Boylan being an amazing person, but the fact that you worked with him on the college tour. So I want to hit that and talk about what that meant to you to be able to bring the Spanish episodes to that network and your continued work there.
Yeah, I mean, when I got the call from Alex, Alex is great. Alex, I feel like has always been my number one fan, and he always supports me in whatever I do. And he was like, "Hey, Lorena, you know how he is, doing the show at college tour, and I need someone. Maybe we'll try it Spanish. It's just you can do it in Espanol." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Fine, yeah, let's go." You know, we didn't actually. I think we did one episode where he was there, the first one. But after that, I was on my own. But it was great to have him there because he has such great energy. It's infectious, you know. So when he's there, I feel like my energy goes up, and I'm like, because I'm naturally a little lower. I mean, in energy than him. So it was great. I loved going to all the colleges and meeting all these amazing kids. I mean, if I wanted to go back to college, I felt like I was like, you know what I mean? I was there and I was like, I want to take that class that you're taking. I want to go back, and it was great. I loved it. And what he's doing is amazing to bring all that to all these kids who can't. You know, it's expensive to go see all these colleges in person and try to decide where to go and what major and is this the right one. You know, it costs a lot of money, so bringing it to them is just fantastic, because now, you know, you surpass that whole like dubious point of like, should I go, am I gonna like it, what, you know, what do kids feel like when they're there, hearing their voices. It's just, I loved it. And doing it in Spanish was great because we are a big chunk of the demographic, you know, so it's wonderful to see all these kids, you know, from all these Latin backgrounds, you know, and how they got there and what it took for them to get there and how excited they are and, you know, so gung-ho to make it, you know, to graduate and make it and do it and being the first, sometimes the first to ever go to college, you know. It's just great stories. I loved it.
Absolutely. Well, and so the reason that Alex reached out to you is, you know, because you are part of the alumni group from Amazing Race. So
Yes.
was that your first real dip into television, or had you been doing acting prior to?
No, I had been doing acting
Okay.
already. I'm a working actor already,
Okay.
for sure. And that was actually when Alex said, you know, suggested that maybe I try out for it, because he did suggest it to me. I didn't actually pursue it. I was a little nervous about it because I was working a lot in TV, and back then reality TV was still like, oh, if you do reality, are they going to take you seriously? And so it was hard for me to decide to actually do it. But then I was like, you know what? I really want to. I want to go. I want to travel. I love traveling. I've traveled my whole life. And I wanted to see what, I don't know. I was just intrigued. Never in a million years did I think that I was going to get chosen at all. So once I got chosen, the real nerves came in. And it was intense. The Amazing Race is intense because it's really real. You know, I feel like a lot of people think that it's like it's not scripted at all. And I didn't even know how non-scripted it was until they said, go, you know. And you have a cameraman and you have the sound guy, and that's it. And they don't tell you anything. You just go, like, in the world. I'm like, you're letting me go in the world? By myself and my then boyfriend and a camera guy and a, you know, sound guy. That's it. And that was it. I mean, you know, you stop and you get, you know, you have to rest. There's laws. You know, it's not like you're like camping in the middle of the, you know, and you have like 12-hour rests and all those things, and you see production again. But once they say go and until you cross the line of that, I mean, it's on your own. You kind of know when you're going off the wrong way because they had like the MI6 and other people, you know, and then if they appeared, you're like, ooh, we need to turn around, because they're the ones being like, you are going, this happened to us in Africa. We're headed to like a tribe and they're like, where are these? And I'm like talking to Jason and I was like, I think we're going the wrong way. The MI6, you know, and they were like, turning around.
When security starts looking nervous, it's time to maybe reroute.
Yeah, when they appear, you're like, no, whatever we're doing is not it. Not it. But yeah, it was really intense. I have to say it was, I mean, the adrenaline and the nerves are like up here the whole, at least for me. There were other competitors there that were just chill. They were like chilling and writing and calm, and I was just like,
Go.
I could not. I would, yeah, like anxiety. Like it was just like it was tough.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean, you just talked about two different types of people right there. People that are constantly
yeah,
moving, full of energy, and those that can kind of drift along and just be cool and
and they
chill, right?
won. The chill ones won. You know,
There's something to it.
I've always thought about that. I was like, maybe I should have just, but I chilled.
Who knows?
But
Who knows?
I don't know, because Alex and the Luca were pretty like,
I
you
was gonna
know.
say they were not on the chill spectrum from
They
what
were
I
not
hear.
on the chill spectrum. So maybe now that I'm thinking about it, because I always thought like, oh man, I should have been chill and maybe just gone with that was the key. But now I think about it, you're right, you know, Alex wasn't. You won. It is
I
what it
mean, what a
is.
perfect example, right? And this whole book, this whole project is not the blueprint for success, right? You dial it up on tenacity and turn it down here. It's the blueprint for you. It's everyone, opening up the book and saying, today, this specific word, sentence, chapter hit me because it's a day by day, minute by minute decision making process. And so this whole thing is about patterns. And so right there,
I know. And have you seen through all the patterns that you've seen, have you seen people being successful in all different types of people?
oh, absolutely.
Or is there one that's always kind of like,
So
no?
far, we've only had one repeat answer out of over 100 interviews.
Oh yeah, you told me
So
that.
which is crazy. And so there is not one type where we can say this is it yet. Maybe through the exploration of this project over years and years, we could maybe come to that
Right.
conclusion.
But
But
that's curious. And that's good to know too, because I feel like, at least for me, I put so much pressure in thinking like I have to be a certain way to be successful versus like maybe being introspective with myself and just allowing me to be me. And then through that being successful. You know, does that make
oh,
sense?
100%. I look at sometimes I am too amped up and I realize I've got to slide it down. It doesn't mean overall in my life I need to turn passion and, drive down. It's just right now in this specific area. And so that's what I love about
Right.
this is it's not everyone just needs to chill out or everyone needs to turn it up. It's case by case, day by day.
Yeah.
So speaking of, Lorena,
What?
there are two types of people in this world.
Yes.
And if you had to classify the entire population of humanity into two buckets, what would they be?
Well, I thought about that a lot, but I have just watched the Nadal documentary. Did you see it on Netflix? Rafa Nadal. It's so good. So, and he was so focused his whole life since he was little, just in tennis, and that was it, and that was what he was going to do, and he was successful at it, and just like that, and then I thought, wow, that's a very particular type of person, and that's not me at all. So then that was like, and I was like, okay, so that's two different type of people. There's one that can dedicate their whole life, whole life, to that one thing and succeed, or he succeeded. Sometimes you get an injury and you never know. For him it went all the way, but for me it's like I've always had to switch up what I want to do in life. Like even when I got to college, I went in thinking I wanted to get into business. And that 1 year I was like, called my parents like, no, now I want to go into nursing. And then again, no, I think I want to be a teacher. And then again, oh, well, and my dad's like, just choose something. I was like, oh, no, I don't know. I want to do everything. I've always wanted to do everything. And I have in my life done so many different things for my career. So, and I have succeeded to a degree, or to my degree, the one that I feel successful in each one. So I thought, okay, so there's two types of people. One that can focus and just do one thing forever, and one that just pivots and one thing isn't enough,
I
just wants to try everything.
I really like that answer. Thank you. Because again, we're painting this project in such a real way today. There is, to say, okay, you have to, and there's a lot of that going on in youth sports right now, right? Pick your sport, focus like all the, the 1%, the 0.0001%, and
Yeah.
the whole group is just going to go do that. Where, you may have a great, pick a sport, but you've got this kid locked in soccer or baseball or whatever. And so there's nothing wrong with it, because that 0.00, 1% like an Nadal, great.
Yeah,
He just
exactly.
knows right away, this is my thing. But if you walk someone into that and they're just okay, they may have been fantastic right over here in another sport, but you
Right.
would never know. And so again,
You
it's
would
not
never
good
know.
or bad. It's just,
Right.
I think when we were going back and forth before the recording, I think you talked about alignment, or maybe that's where I went with it, was
Yeah.
thinking about, it's just you're knowing. And some people just, they find their thing and that's it. And they can be heads
Yep.
down. And some people, it's exploration. It's trying new
Yep.
things. And that's the excitement.
That is the excitement because it dulls down for me. Like I get bored of it after a while. I'm like, I need to do something else, and it can be a little frustrating for me. But at the same time, I like it. I just like doing different things.
I,
You
I
know.
I think I'm thinking about bringing this into the business world. Every business needs both types that we're talking about. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of
Oh
the
yeah.
the leaders, those visionary leaders, are the ones that go maybe not completely out of what they're doing as their core business, but they go, oh, but we
Yeah.
can go here and here and here and do this and bolt this on
Yeah.
and partner with these people. And some people head down, to your point, they're going to be a CPA, they're going to be a plumber, they're going to, whatever. They're going to do their
Yeah.
thing because they're great at it and it's their comfort. And
Yeah.
why change?
Exactly. I mean, my dad's a doctor, and that's all he did. That's all he's done. His whole life. I mean,
And nothing
he
wrong with
plays
it.
tennis
Yeah.
and golf. He has, he does other
Yeah.
things. That's not what I mean. But he dedicated his life to that, and to this day, he still practices. He's 73. Wait, 73.
There you go.
He's still practicing. He's done it, and
And I want to make sure we're clear on this. It's not, just doing that is not a negative. It's saying he found his
No,
thing and my goodness, fantastic at it. And
yeah,
companies, teams, relationships need people that can be heads down, the steady rock. They're going, whatever else is new, I don't care
yeah.
because I am
No,
stoked.
I admire it completely. I admire it completely. When I was watching the Nadal documentary, I was like, admired that tenacity and that drive and that dedication. I mean, it made me judge myself like, oh God, I wish I had just, maybe stuck with acting, in a way. So
Well,
I like both.
yes. Oh, absolutely. And again, it's, sometimes you have to be. And I think where we're going with this is, as you float around, I believe you have that tenacity and drive and dedication. It's just you get in, you make magic, and then you move on.
Then I get out.
And I
Yes.
look, I will 100% identify with that one, and you and I are very similar. Like I have done a lot in my career and in my life, and it's just I stay kind of in the same lane, but I bump the guardrails a lot
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
can't
I do.
just come in here and knock away at a keyboard for 10 hours and go home. It's just not who I am.
No, no, I can't either. I can't. No way. I can't. I just can't.
This is what a great two types answer discussion, Lorena. That was amazing. Thank you. So I want to ask. Part of this whole project, and we started talking about, is there the recipe? Is there the one type? There are patterns that are starting to emerge, which are really interesting, right? And there's some kind of themes and mottos that are starting to float around here. And when you look at the book, which comes out August 4th, you can buy it on Amazon right now, pre-order.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, oh, you're going to get one. Don't worry.
No, but I want to get one, like buy one.
Well,
I want
thank
to
you.
support.
Thank you. Thank you. The
Yes.
full title is Two Types of People in This World, how top performers make decisions, act, and grow. And so when we think about that, people go, well, make decisions and act. Isn't that the same thing? No. Making the decision is the
No.
mindset. Action is actually
Yeah.
moving, right? And so this whole thing to me, when I look at our tagline for the book or the subtitle is it's, this plus this equals growth. And so when I
Yeah.
think about this growth mindset, and we've talked about it, bouncing around, doing other things, whatever it is, even if you find your profession or your person or whatever it is, still exploring other things in this world, setting yourself free
Yeah.
in this world with maybe not a cameraman and sound, but hey, who knows? But where I'm going with this is I like asking people about mindset, specifically something that you have changed your mind on? Because to me, I was born in the 80s, early 80s. I'm not going to say when. But it seems
Well,
like
I'm older than you. You were born in the
I
80s?
was.
I was born 79.
Okay, 81. There. 81. There it is.
Okay to say.
It seems
We
like,
look great for our
well,
age.
thank you. I would agree with you as well. It seems like
Sorry, go ahead.
no, no, we're good. This seems like the world is very rigid and people are really digging into opinions. And maybe this is because I just didn't care when I was younger and didn't care what adults thought, but it just seems like people are very rigid. So I like highlighting where people thought something, believe something, about their identity, whatever it was, and they've completely changed their mind on it. So I'd like to ask you that question. Is something you've changed your mind on either recently or just in your life?
Um, well, the biggest thing I changed my mind about was acting, and that was when I was probably 34.
Okay.
When I was 34. So, what can I say? I love acting. I still do. I love the art of acting. I love reading a script and trying to get into that character and and having, most of all, having that connection with another actor and forgetting everything else, and just, it's like playing tennis. Like, you go into that zone and you just zone in. You know what I mean? You just zone in, and it's just like you're back and forth. I love that. But then the business of it was just, the film industry was just so hard. It just felt like I was always like, and I worked and I did, and I succeeded in that. But it was always like, when's the next one gonna come? And then I have to audition and all these no's, and it just got to my psyche, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And for me, the interesting part is, like, I struggled with that identity because I thought I'd finally hit into what I wanted to do. And it was hard to accept it. It was hard to accept that I quit, and that's where I had to change my mind about who I was, because I had to dig in and know, like, no, I didn't quit. I just pivot. I did it. I succeeded. I had to applaud and, like, say, you did it, and and I had to switch that mindset of, like, I felt like a failure. I felt like a quitter, and I worked really hard to be like, no, I wasn't. I didn't. I did succeed. I can do other things and still succeed and be, not. I don't know. It was a tough one. I think I'm still grappling with it. I'm still trying to help myself change.
It's extremely hard. I mean, I remember my big kind of identity shift that I remember was when I finished playing baseball. So I had gone AU 4 years there. We had done pretty well. So I'd been playing since I was 5, 6 years old. Right. And so that was my life. I mean, everything revolved around sports. And then for most of, my late teens, early 20s was baseball. And so I remember going to a baseball game, like a minor league game, after I was done, and just, like, having a breakdown, just like, who am I? Like, I don't do this anymore. And to your point, it was having to really dig in and be like, okay, so what does this guy have to offer to the world now? And so it did feel like a failure because, I didn't make it to the World Series, with the Red Sox and all that stuff. It was,
I know.
but it was looking at it going, I did succeed. I played Division I baseball, and I learned some amazing skills that have taken me to today.
Yeah, and I think that that's the hardest part. It's accepting that it wasn't a failure, that we didn't fail. There's no such thing really in life, because there's just one straight road to the same place, so why put that on ourselves? We just have one shot at this beautiful life. Why put that pressure on, like, I failed, I quit, and I did feel that, but it took me a long time to, let that go and be like, gosh, it's like you said earlier, it's like a blip. Everything happens and it just feels like it happened yesterday, but it's a blip. So, we don't have to take it that seriously.
Isn't that true?
Like this love of this life,
It's true.
It can be a little killer.
I talk about it all the time. I say, if you let it, it's because we get so wrapped up in the deal that didn't happen, the call that didn't happen, the person, the thing, whatever. And it's like, everything in the universe is the way it should be if we
Will
let it.
align. Yeah.
And
I
so
mean,
back
it's
to
all,
alignment, right? When we push
yeah.
against it and go, oh, I want this, the universe just kind of sits back and goes, are you done throwing a tantrum?
Okay. Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Now come back
Exactly.
over here and we're going to just keep moving on along.
Yeah,
It's,
let go of that fear because it's all fear
oh,
based. Yeah.
100%.
Fear of not having, not being good enough, fear of not having enough money, fear of failure, fear of how people are going to look. It's all fear, and once we let go of that fear, then you're aligned, and then everything you wanted or manifested just suddenly comes in, and you're like, ooh, that was easy. Except it's hard.
That's right.
Because every day I wake up with fears and fears and blah, blah, blah. Letting go is the hard part. Once you let go, everything else is super easy.
If it, just letting go. There you go, folks. If you just do that one simple thing, everything will be
Super easy,
A-okay.
guys.
But
Letting go is super easy.
yes. But actually, fantastic advice. And yeah, I mean, it's extremely hard. But Alex and I actually talked about it in his episode. He with his book, he talks about the backpack. What you start with, what you carry, and we talked about just what we allow other people to put in our packs, what we just keep carrying for 10, 15, 20 years for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And when
I
you
love that
can
metaphor.
process one thing at a time or all of it, however you do it, but the lighter
Yeah.
you can make your pack, you're right, the easier life's
I
going
know,
to be.
the easier it is. I love that metaphor.
It's very good. The Miles That Make You by Alex Boylan. You can get that one on Amazon.
I haven't read it. Alex,
I really, Lorena, thought you were going to say you went out on top acting because you were the pack rat champ on iCarly. Haha.
I know that one is like my call to fame, actually, because all the kids remember it. Like
I
any
never
kid I
saw
tell them
iCarly. I think it was right, which is weird if we're about the same age, but I never saw that one. I know of it, but I never tuned in.
Yeah, well, I never actually watched iCarly, to be honest with you. But a lot of the kids, that are, well, millennials, a little younger than I am, all remember it and all remember Sasha Stryker, and they look at me and they're like, really? Like, it's the only thing that I can actually say that I did that people would be like, oh, I saw it.
That's not
A
true.
lot of people. Well, you saw Burn Notice.
Burn Notice. Oh, man.
I know, but you're the only one who's actually come up to me about anything about Burn Notice.
I told for the audience, I told Lorena we used to have a Thursday night like TV night because it was Community,
that's
and it would end with Burn Notice, and I can still hear Michael Weston's mom yelling, "Michael!"
Oh my god!
But it was one of those. It was like a TBS. It was a TBS.
Wait, no, was it
TNT.
TNT? I think TNT.
It was just
TNT
one of those,
was
you got sucked in. He used to be a spy, and I found out
I
Lorena
know.
was on it, and man, that's just amazing
I know.
to me.
I know. I love that you mentioned that one because I really, gosh, I had to fly to Miami to do that. It was actually shot in Miami. It was fun. Those guys are a hoot. I mean, they're exactly what you think they would be. Like, they're hilarious and nice and sweet. So it was a great shoot.
That's amazing.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, that's right. I'll have to go find. I have to go find the episode with you in it so we can go rewatch. But we did. I mean, we watched absolutely every episode, start to finish. We couldn't get enough, so we were sad when it went off, and I was happy to know you were on it. And then I did want to talk real quickly because you were on the big screen as well with Bill Engvall, right?
Yes, we're in Catching Faith, which was actually produced by Alexandra Boylan, Alex's sister. So yeah, I mean, Alexis originally, like, she's my best friend from LA. Like, I moved to LA, and like a year into being there, I met her. So we've been friends forever. We were both acting at the same time, with the struggle. And then she started producing. Actually, I've been in almost all her. Like, her first one was this little horror. Well, it was a feature. Home Sweet Home, and I was in that one. And that one she shot for like 10 grand. I mean, I don't even know how she did it, but it looked amazing. And then after doing that, she did another one, and then she did Catching Faith, which was her bigger budget, film. And she asked me if I wanted, just offered me the the role of Alexa Taylor, and I was like, yeah, I had never been a lead in anything really. You know, I've had guest stars and recurrings and stuff like that, but I've never been like the number one in the call sheet. So I was like, of course. And it is way harder because you're in every single scene. You work every single day. You know, it's the hard part is just getting there and being prepared and being focused, and but it was great. Very grateful for that. For her
Did he ever
doing
say,
that.
"There's your sign"? Wasn't that,
Who, Bill?
yeah, wasn't that his comedy thing? There's your sign.
You know, I didn't get to work with Bill really.
No?
No, because all his scenes were mostly with my son
Gotcha.
because he was the coach. So whenever I did work with him, like I was in the bleachers, and he would go in and out. Like I really didn't get to meet him that much.
Gotcha.
Which I have to be honest about that. I wish I did, but I saw him.
It's probably best. He didn't give you one of his redneck things, so it's all good, you know.
No, no, but he seemed lovely
Well, good.
from afar.
Well, good. All right. Well, Lorena, I know that you have to catch a flight pretty soon, so I want to
know.
ask you one more question before we get going.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of these just to dig down and just, I love hearing people's answers to some of these questions, and all of them really based on their experience, right? Because everyone has
Yeah.
such a varied, upbringing, background, and all the things that they've done in their lives. And so the answers reflect that 100%, from the relic
Yeah.
to the two types. And so one I want to ask you to finish this up is around music and how some people, it's like, yeah, you just put it on the background, and some people are very, very into it. But I think everyone has songs that have, quote unquote, touched their life, right? You have this solid memory. It's the one song that just, gets you dancing. So if there was a walkout song when you entered the room, when you hit the stage, no matter where you were, maybe you're in the checkout line at the grocery store, what song is playing for you?
I know. I already answered this one for you. So I don't. It's strange because I love a lot of different songs, and I had to really zone into which one pumps me up. Like, because I if I'm gonna go out on the stage, I want to be pumped up, and that is Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. And it's just I hate running, hate it. I hate it. I can run this entire song on a treadmill.
Okay.
That's the whole song. So I'm like, yeah, this is the only. I was like, this is the only song that if you put on, I will I just get excited and pumped up, and I just want to act, and go and do.
I love that. Well, we will definitely, we're going to add it to the playlist. We call it Side A. We ask all the guests to add their song to the playlist, and that way, at least for me and people that are listening to the show on a regular basis, they can hear
You're
this
gonna
song.
love. If you haven't heard this song, you're gonna love
Oh,
it.
I'm sure most people have heard. Did you see the halftime show?
No.
When
What?
in Detroit, when they did it live, and then Eminem was out there, they did.
No,
they did Seven Nation
I
Army
haven't.
live. Jack White was out there.
I'm gonna right after.
Jack
gonna
White
go.
halftime show. They did
I
it
love
live.
him.
Awesome. Lorena, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
today.
you for having me.
I love this.
This was lovely.
Thank you so much.